there, Ariana from Crafting Happiness here. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet the thermal stitch. And for this tutorial, I have made two samples. This is a sample made with one color, and you can see the stitches and the thickness and how solid and sturdy this fabric is crocheted with this stitch. And then I've made a sample using two colors just so you can see how this stitch is created. It's basically a double layer stitch. I think it's also known as the double layer crochet stitch, and you can see here how two single crochet layers are crocheted each row. And today I'm going to show you how to crochet this stitch. So let's get started. This pattern doesn't require you to have any multiples of stitches. You can create a chain as long as you like. I am using a yarn and a 5mm crochet hook. You can use any yarn with a matching hook. And this pattern is a really simple pattern. It only uses single crochet stitches and it's a one row repeat. The trick here is how you start the first row, how you create the repeats, and then how you create the final row. So I will show you all that. Let's start first with the first row, and this is just the starting row, and we are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then we single crochet in each stitch until the end of the row. And this is your first row. It's just a row single crochet. Now let's start the second row. Turn your work, and we will be working into the back loops of the stitches. If you see here, each stitch has two loops in a V shape. The loop that is near you, it's called the front loop. The one that is away from you, it's the back loop. And we will be working through these back loops of the stitches plus the the third loops in the back. This second row, it's quite unique because we will have to work through the other side of the chains, these loops here at the bottom. So let's start. If you want, you can chain one just for the turning chain, and then turn and insert your hook into the back loop of the stitch, and then through the loop of the chain, the other loop of the chain. And this is how we're gonna make our single crochet stitches. So just make a regular crochet as you would, and now into the next stitch, rotate the work so it will come with the top in front and the bottom right here, and again insert your hook into the back loop and then into the loop at the base, which is the other side of the chain, and make a single crochet. And this will expose these front loops into which we're going to crochet in next row. So let me show you one more time. Rotate your work so it will be vertical with the hook at the top and the end at the bottom, and then insert your hook into the back loop of the stitch and into the loop at the bottom, which is the other side of the chain. I don't know if you can see it here. These are the chains, and you're inserting it into the other side of the chain, and then you will have these loops on your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and make your single crochet. Now I'll be repeating this until the end of the row, and then we continue with the next row. So now I've done the single crochets across my row, and I'm into the last one. You can see the V right here, these two loops. This is the tricky part sometimes, finding the last or the first stitch. So you can see the loops. We will have to insert our hook through the back loop only, and then you need to find a corresponding loop of the chain below, and that will be the chain you skipped when you first single crochet. And just make your single crochet as usual, and this is your second row, and this was just the starting row, is not your repeat row. Now we're going to create the repeat row, the row that you'll be crocheting over and over until you have your desired length to your project. So chain one, this is just a turning stitch, so I usually make it really small, and then turn. And again we will be working into the back loop of the stitch. So insert your hook into the back loop and into the exposed loop that you haven't used from the previous row. Remember, we only use the front loop that will expose the back loop, that will expose the front loop of the stitch. And as you turn, they are here at the bottom, parallel to your stitches. So it's easier if you just turn your work vertically with a hook and a loop at the top and the end at the bottom, and this way you can actually see the stitches better. So insert your hook into the back loop and then into the exposed loop from previous row, and make a single crochet. And as you do, you'll see the stitches start to curl, your work starts to curl, and you'll become thicker. This is how you crochet this stitch. It's basically gonna curl and bring it together and create this really thick pattern. Okay, so again, let's go into the next stitch, into the back loop, and then corresponding loop, which is usually quite parallel to it. It's easy to just straight push your hook through and make a single crochet, and then so on, make a single crochet in each until the end of the row. Now again, I am at the end of the row, and like I said, it's very easy to skip the last stitch by mistake. What I recommend is that when you make your first single crochet in the row, put a stitch marker in it so you know, okay, that's my last stitch when I turn back. I've done this many times, so by now I know these are the loops that I'm supposed to crochet in. But if you're at the beginning, make sure you don't miss out that last stitch. And this is the third row, and this is your repeat row that you make over and over until you have the length to your project that you want. And if you turn it upside and you look from the top, you can see these two rows. You basically crochet in 2 rows in parallel to each other. It's a double tick pattern, and it's great for bags, for anything that needs a sturdy fabric like baskets and anything like that, pot holders. And just repeat this third row over and over, and then when you are done, it's time to close and make the final row. This is done a bit different, and let me show you how you close this. Again, once you're done with your repeats, make a chain turn, and instead of working into the back loop of the stitch, we are going to insert our hooks through the entire stitch and also the corresponding loop, the loop that is parallel to your stitch, the exposed front loops of the previous row. So this is how you finish your project. You insert your hook through the entire stitch and then through that exposed front loop and make a single crochet, and again insert it through the hook, through the loop, make your single crochet, and so on until you have crocheted into the last stitch. And this is how the final row looks like. You can now see the two sides the two parallel layers you were crocheting are now joined, and you don't have an edge anymore. It's all smooth. Here is the sample. You can see how it looks like around every single edge. It's all nicely closed. You don't see the layers. And this is how you crochet the thermal stitch. Here's the big sample. You can see how sturdy it is, and solid, thick and warm. And the best part about it is when you work it in two colors. This is will do a perfect basket, a reversible basket in two colors. For example, pot holders. You can switch colors and create all sorts of designs over it. It looks just beautiful like that. So yeah, this is how you crochet the thermal stitch. If you have any questions about this tutorial and this pattern, put them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to help you and answer them. Happy crocheting!